Hi, I just wanted to welcome you and thank you for allowing me to help with your tax bookkeeping needs. I created this page especially for my new clients. So if you have any feedback or comments, please send me an email or you can submit feedback via my website if you go to clients and then feedback. On this page, you will also find my links to social media. Please follow me if you want to stay up to date on things that are happening in tax and accounting. I do post funny things and I try to post regularly. If you have a business, Instagram, or Facebook account and you want me to follow you, please send me your name and I will follow you as I love to follow my clients. I did want to get into one thing before we get to the details. My name. So if you had an initial client consultation, then you probably already know how to pronounce my name. But if you're watching this on YouTube or found me some other way, then maybe not. As you can see from my banner, my full name is Michael Charday J. Nowden, CPA. On most things that you see from me, you'll just see the first part of my first name, just Michael Nowden, CPA. Again, my first name is Michael Charday. To make it easier on people, I shortened it, but on any official documents, like tax return or the portal, or if you're writing a check, then you want to use my full first name. As a new client, you'll receive an email similar to this one, which will give you access to your own secure portal account. If you are both an individual and a business client, you'll receive 2 emails that will give you access to each account. You can use the same email address for both accounts, but you will still receive 2 separate emails in order to give you access to each one. In the email, it will list the name of the account. So this one is a test account. Just for this example, it will list your email. Right now it shows mine. It will list the URL for the portal, and the email will be coming from notifications@taxdome.com. Within the email and all emails from the portal, it will include the mailing address, my social links, email address, website, and phone number. When you click the button to log in for the first time, you'll set up your own password, and then after that, you'll be taken to this login screen. On this screen, it's important to note that this is where we list specific announcements. So typically it would be when the office is closed, but any other announcement would be listed here. There's also the link to access firm documents. Lists our business hours, appointment hours, payment links, socials again, and you have the option to download the apps here as well. When you go to sign in, there's an option to sign in for 30 minutes, for 4 hours, or for 8 hours. So you should pick whichever option you think you'll need. So if you're just going in for a short visit, then 30 minutes is fine. You typically won't be logging in for 8 hours, but that is an option for you. And after the time is expired, you'll automatically be signed out. So for this example, I'm going to go with 4 hours, even though we're not going to be taking that long, but I just don't want to get kicked out. So when you sign in from a link, so this was the account access link, and this email is tied to 2 different accounts. So if you are an individual and have a business and you're using the same email address, you'll get this screen, which allows you to select which account you want to log into. For this example, we're going to log into the test, and right now we're on the test account. So I'm just going to click the X. On the home screen is where you'll find your to-do list. So if you're clicking in to the portal from, say, an organizer email, which would be similar to this email, then it would take you straight to that organizer. But if you're logging into the portal via the direct link to the portal or some other method that's not a link to a document, then you'll get the home page. Otherwise, you'll get whatever document you're clicking on. So to get to the home page, you just click home on the left-hand side, and that lists all of your items that are available for you to do. So organizers, signing contracts, unpaid invoices. On the right-hand side, you can upload documents, indicate that you've finished uploading, create a new message, make prepayments, see any outstanding balances or credits available, and also it has our contact information. For this example, we're just going to take a look at the intake organizer, which would be what you as a new client would be completing. So all of the organizers are smart, and that means that the questions that you have to complete will change based on the answers that you're providing. So you want to make sure you're clicking on responses that reflect your specific situation. So for this form, the first question asked is, did we file your return last year? So as a new client, that answer is going to be no. So you want to click that, and that gives us more questions to complete. Next is your marital status. So if you were to click single, nothing else changes on the form. However, if you were to click married or one of the other options, that then gives you the opportunity to enter the information for your spouse. If you were referred by someone, we do like for you to include their information. That way we know who to thank for you becoming a new client. The address section is pretty self-explanatory. You just want to enter your address. In the taxpayer information section, there are fields that aren't required. So if you are the taxpayer and you're also the person who booked the initial consultation, then I already have your email address and I already have your phone number, so you don't have to duplicate that. However, if you are the spouse and you booked the initial consultation, then you'd want to include that information for the taxpayer because I won't have it. So the taxpayer and spouse sections are pretty similar. You just want to make sure you're filling it out based on how you've previously filed. And then the final section is where you would upload prior returns. So for most people, you're going to have at least one prior return. If you are new to tax filing, then you're not going to have a prior return. Or if you're a newly created business, then you're not going to have a prior return. So you'd want to answer this question based on your situation, but for the most part, it's not going to be your first year. So you're going to put no. And that automatically gives us the ability to upload one prior return. So the second question is if you've been filing for more than 1 year. If you're an individual, most likely you have. So you're going to put yes, and that gives you the option to upload 2 additional returns. If you're someone who hasn't been filing for very long, you might only have 2 prior returns. And so the third return option isn't required if, of course, you don't have one. You want to make sure you're answering all of the questions that have the asterisk, as those are required questions, and you won't be able to submit the organizer without that being completed. So for example, if I try to go ahead and submit this, we're going to get errors because we haven't completed it. If you need to come back and complete the organizer at a later date, you can click Save as a Draft. As you go through the organizer, your responses are automatically saved, so you don't have to worry. So I'm going to click Save as a Draft, and then it'll take me back to the organizer screen. And so here it lists all of the organizers that I have available that either aren't completed or are completed. So all these are pending. If they had been completed, they would say submitted. So let's go back to the home screen. As you notice, there's little indicators next to items that have things that are outstanding. So under organizers, I have 8 to complete. Under contract, I have 1, and then I have 1 outstanding invoice. These are all listed on my to-do page as well. So after you complete your initial intake form, the next step would be signing the first part of your engagement letter, which is the best practices agreement. You can click on it here or through contracts. You can also click on it through the email that you'll receive. So you do want to take your time and read through the agreement. It is quite long because it's the same agreement that's used for all my clients. And you want to make sure that you understand what you're signing. If you do have any questions, then please feel free to send me a message through the portal or send me an email. So you should be able to sign the form electronically. And if you're filing a joint return, that both you and your spouse would need to sign. So we're not going to sign here because it's an example. If we go back to the home page again, like I mentioned when we first got here, there's an option for you to upload documents. You can also upload documents by clicking on the Documents tab. So there's nothing here presently, but we can look at the folders that are available. And when you're uploading documents, you would upload it to Client Uploaded Documents. And anything that I'm sharing with you is going to be in the firm documents shared with client. So when you go to upload documents, you don't have to necessarily upload them in an organized fashion. But if you want to, here is where you would do it. Let's also take you through the settings. Under settings is where you can upload a picture. So if you click on the little edit button, there's a way for you to upload a picture. We do like for you to have pictures of yourself or you and your spouse, just because it makes it easier to kind of identify you. And it's nice for me when I'm going into your file to be able to see you. You can also set up or turn on two-factor authentication here as well. And you can also download the apps here. If your native language isn't English, you can also change to a different language to make it easier for you. However, that's only going to change the system. It's not going to change any of the forms. So if you do need something in another language, just let me know and I'll prepare it for you. You can also add a user here as well. So if you want to add your spouse before I have a chance to add them, this is how you would do it. But once you complete your intake form, I will go ahead and add them for you. So that is just a brief overview of the portal and what you need to do as a new client.